know, Telangana is the youngest state of India and embodies innovation and agility since its creation 8 years ago. The Emerging Technologies Wing, under the leadership of our Honorable Minister and the Principal Secretary, have formulated and launched several technology-specific frameworks, especially in artificial intelligence, blockchain, drones, etc., set up institutions of excellences that help in accelerating the growth of the ecosystem and, most importantly, accelerated the adoption of emerging technologies within the government. Collaboration and partnership with the industry, academia, startup, and other government organizations across India has been a mantra, and we have conceptualized and executed path-breaking initiatives, projects, and programs in various sectors, including agriculture, health, and in delivering citizen services. The Emerging Technologies Wing keeps scouting for new technologies that are likely to have a huge impact on the ecosystem. We found that because of the recent reforms brought in by ISRO, SpaceTech industry has huge potential in terms of growth and prosperity. So we have conducted extensive stakeholder consultations with, across the ecosystem and had discussions with most of you who are here today to identify and understand the most pressing challenges and potential opportunities in the space sector, and what and how the government can actually do something to address these challenges and realize the potential of this industry. The framework today we are launching is the culmination of these discussions. As a country builds its might in the space sector, Telangana as a state wishes to offer the required support to the ecosystem players, be an integral part of the growth story, and establish the state as one-stop destination for space technology. This space tech framework that's about to be launched by our Honorable Minister shall act as a guiding strategy for the state to enable the sector over the next couple of years. It should build upon the synergies within the existing and robust aerospace and defense ecosystem of the state, and also leverage the innovation ecosystem that we have developed over the past many years to deliver truly phenomenal outcomes. Finally, once again, a warm welcome from Government of Telangana, and thank you all for patiently waiting for this event launch. And lastly, on the lighter side, I thought I would look much more younger and glamorous in my virtual avatar, but the designers thought otherwise, and probably they got to know my actual age, and here I am in my avatar. Well, welcome and thank you all. Over to you, Minal.
Thank you, ma'am. So I request you to move back to the seat, or I can.
Yeah.
So.
I have to just.
Thank you. So we'll proceed with the launch of the framework now. I would request the Honorable Minister Shri K.T. Ramarao Garu to please announce the launch of the framework. So he may do so while sitting and announcing the same. So could you please announce it, and then we'll start the launch sequence.
Absolutely. Thank you all for joining us. It's a pleasure to have such an exemplary lineup of eclectic gathering of individuals who have excelled in their fields. So I officially would like to announce that the Telangana's Space Tech Framework has been launched.
Thank you everyone for the launch of the framework. We'll now proceed with the remaining event, and I would now like to request Minister sir, I believe you have some paucity of time, so should we start with your keynote first?
We can continue the way you had planned, actually. We can.
Okay.
I'd love to listen into Mr. Somnath and Mr. Kant as well.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. So I'll first start with Jayesh Ranjan, sir. So, Jayesh Ranjan, sir, the Principal Secretary of IT&C Department, Telangana Government, will be delivering the first keynote for the session. Sir, I would like to request you to please come up to the podium for your speech. You may start.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Meenal. Honorable Minister, Mr. K.T. Ramarao, Honorable Chairman of ISRO, Mr. S. Somnath, Honorable CEO of NITI Aayog, Mr. Amitabh Kant, Chairman of InSpace, Mr. Pawan Goenka, my colleague Ramadevi, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted that the first of its kind Telangana SpaceTech framework has been launched just now by Honorable Minister. And we have chosen a very, very innovative platform to do so, which is Metaverse. It also in many ways showcases what kind of aspirations the dynamic state of Telangana has about its adopting new technologies. You will very soon be going through the pages of this Space Tech framework, but I can give you a very quick overview of the framework. The framework has been realized through our vision to establish Telangana as a globally recognized one-stop destination in space technology. We want to build an ecosystem where Indians develop advanced technologies in space tech within India, both by supporting indigenous development and attracting the best global companies. Telangana state is keen on ensuring that it becomes an end-to-end manufacturing hub from design to testing and launch as the private industry builds system-level integration capacity. The framework objectives and focus areas of our framework is that first of all, we want to become the global technology hub for space tech. We want to foster and support business and entrepreneurship in space tech. We want to attract global investments and partners. We want to boost space related manufacturing. And we want to become the preferred testbed for remote sensing applications. For all of these, we have a very good track record. We are the home to some very successful industry leaders. I would like to name some of them: Adant Technologies, MTAR, WEM Technologies, Sri Venkateshwara Aerospace, and there are so many other SMEs also for subsystems, etc. We also have large OEM partners like Lockheed Martin, Airbus, Boeing, Adani's, etc. And we also have some very rock star kind of startups like Dhruva Aerospace, Skyroot Aerospace, etc. And institutions of national repute like National Remote Sensing Center and ARCI, etc. is there. So with the presence of a very rich and dynamic ecosystem, I am confident that the objectives that we have laid out will be realized. It is just a matter of time when you will all start seeing some amazing results from Telangana. We want to provide support in four key pillars, which is in the form of access to infrastructure. We want to provide skill development and training so that when we are inviting the world over, the best quality skills are available in Telangana. We also want to promote research and innovation. And finally, we want to do business facilitation and collaboration. I'm very confident that with the help of ISRO, NITI Aayog, InSpace, and all other local stakeholders, Telangana's Space Tech framework will become the role model for other states to emulate, and the entire country will be very proud of what we are launching today. Once again, warm greetings to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So you may click on end speech. Yeah, thank you, Jayesh Ranjan, sir, for your wise words on the framework. Now we would like to proceed with the tokens of appreciation as well. So first, I would like to call upon stage Dr. Subbarao Pavulri, who is the MD and CEO of Anand Technologies. Sir, I've sent you the request for accepting. So I'll just wait for him to come to the stage first.
Meenal, otherwise we can request Mr. Somnath to come first maybe. All right.
Of Dhruva Space. As we all know, Dhruva is a Hyderabad-based startup who has been doing excellent work when it comes to they're doing excellent work on building full-stack space engineering solutions. The company also offers satellite coupled with earth stations and launch services as an integrated solution or individually as a technology solution to power space-based applications on Earth and beyond. So this year, Dhruva has also signed a commercial agreement with New Space India Limited (NSIL) under ISRO, and is also featured in the Fortune's 40 under 40 list. Now, I would like to request Minister Garu to please give them the award. Sir, you will receive a prompt from my side. Thank you, Mr. Chaitanya.
Thank you, Mr. Chaitanya.
Now I would like to call upon next awardee. Mr. Awais Ahmed. Okay. Okay, Mr. Awais Ahmed seems to be not available. One second, sir. I'll just send you back. I'll call you once the people have joined in. Not working. So we'll skip this part. This seems not to be working well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meena, let's go ahead with the
we'll,
proceedings.
we'll skip it altogether. So next, I would like. So Pawan Goenka sir has also left. His session was supposed to be the next one. So now, hence, I would like to request Shri S. Somanath, the chairman of Indian Space Research Organization, to please deliver his keynote onto the stage. I'll just call you, sir, on the stage. Please disable your broadcast once you're there.
Good evening. Hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Honorable Minister of IT Industries, Government of Telangana, Sri K.T. Ramarao, Dr. Amitabh Kant, CEO of NITI Aayog, Dr. Pawan Goenka, Chairman of InSpace, Sri Jayesh, Ranjan, Principal Secretary, IT, E&C, Government of Telangana, and all dear friends, industrialists, academy, and other startups attending this event virtually. I'm really honored to be part of this SpaceTech framework release of the Telangana state in a very innovative platform. And I look forward to reading and understanding what this framework is going to unveil in front of us. And of course, Sri Jayesh Rajan mentioned about what the ecosystem in Hyderabad and Telangana state are there. And the objectives and the goals of the framework is also well explained to us. I would like to start telling that the Indian Space Research Organization and Department of Space has been doing a task which was once thought impossible. Maybe 50 years back when the space program started, and we all questioned the intent behind it, or even doubted whether it will be achieved. And only because of those rocket boys, they were able to convince the administrators, decision makers at that point in time to start this space program, focusing on applications. And we were looking at all the time on delivering certain useful outcome to the public, to the common man. And we developed on the application side first and demonstrated there are applications that will be very useful to the community, to the country, for its development planning, as well as for various support services which were required at a later point in time. And after the services were developed, we looked at how we can integrate into satellites and launch our own satellites. And once we had satellites launched by other nations, we looked at how to create the launch vehicle capability to put them from our own soil. So the journey in the last 50 years has now created a vibrant space-based ecosystem in this country. And all that is due to the committed work of thousands of people in Department of Space and Indian Space Research Organization, supported ably by industries throughout the country as providers of support, service, of manufacturing, part supply, integration, testing. In a progressive manner, they have been graduating from simple manufacturing team to integrated system developers, entities that you can now claim to develop rockets and spacecraft systems and applications on their own. And this is a very welcome change when the country goes to a real transformation in terms of technology. And it is very happy to see that industries are also coming up capable of taking up higher and higher roles. And once we recognize that the roles that are going to be played by industries are going to be much bigger, we definitely look at it in a different manner. That the way in which the space program was looked at 50 years back is not the way we are looking at the space program today. Even the governments are looking at it in a totally different manner. And we would like to make sure that the private entrepreneurs, startups, industries play a very meaningful role in the changed scenario space sector as providers of developers of technology solutions on their own and contribute to the space economy in a bigger manner. As all of you know, that the space activity today has been a centrally funded one, ISRO doing the activity mostly, and overall economy is only of that scale, which is typically only 15,000 crore. And if you were to really enhance the share of our space economy, and also secondary effects all put together, that 15,000 crores may become something like 35,000 crore annually. But if you have to increase that share to substantial size, then there are many things that have to happen. The first and foremost is creation of space-based services market for space-based services, and also creation of activities in space sector, building of satellites, building of launch vehicles, creation of space ground infrastructure, and providing solutions to the global community, not only to India. So if this has to happen, many reforms are required. And this is what we are on today. And that's why the creation of InSpace, the space reform announcement has happened. The InSpace has come into place. The chairman of InSpace is also participating here. And we want to make sure the InSpace become a single window through which all the startups, industries can connect to the system that we have created in this country, in the ISRO system, and derive benefit out of whatever has been already created. But what we look forward from these industries and startups is innovation. See, the way that today the ISRO is capable of designing and developing any satellites, any launch vehicle, and launch any program. But that's not what the world is looking for. They are looking for solutions which are never thought before. They are looking at technologies and approaches which will really transform the way we have looked at space sector. For example, some of the changes that are happening elsewhere is really eye-opener. For example, the launch vehicles, earlier we thought the expendable launch vehicle never will become reusable. It has happened because of the innovative approaches. The approach to provide direct telecommunication services, internet services from satellites to handheld devices. Many attempts were done, but all failed. But today it is becoming a reality. So, and also the miniaturization of electronics and systems made microsatellites in large numbers possible, capable of delivering services never ever imagined to be done by bigger satellites. And much more are happening in manufacturing sectors, electronics, propulsion, and all application side and delivery. So basically we look at innovation, but we also look at manufacturing base to grow. Because if you launch only 5, 6, 7 launches in a year and only build this much of satellites, the economy size scale will be only certain size. But we are looking at how we can grow this to much bigger scale. And to do that, we need to have first application demand should exist. If you look at this country itself, the nation has huge demand for various sectors, even for communication or for GIS applications. There is a huge demand still untapped. We also have demands in globally. Some of the startups that I have come across were looking at how to handle space debris problem and find out solutions for solving some of the space debris problem. Conjunctions, solutions that can be provided for the world. We can also become suppliers of integrated systems for the world. Why don't we manufacture some rocket engines and high-tech devices that can be the sole supplier for the world? But we all realize that there are limitations, there are technical constraints that this nation is facing. Some of them, let me put in front of you. For example, the electronics, miniaturized avionics, if you want to realize, we must have a strong electronics industry support in this country. And there are some initiatives by the government which will slowly percolate. And then I believe that in days to come, there will be a strong electronics device manufacturing ecosystem in this country, which will allow us to produce low cost and high reliable electronics within this country. We also have to work on materials of various kinds so that our dependence on foreign sources for many of our spacecrafts and launch vehicle components can be drastically reduced. Here we look forward to the industry support and also look at them to integrate and manufacture at much lower cost than that is happening elsewhere in the world. And I know India has a frugal way of innovation, and this frugal approaches will definitely enable us to build space systems at much lesser percentage of cost that is actually happening elsewhere. Coming specifically to the Telangana and the ecosystem that has already been created, I must tell you that in Department of Space and ISRO, we have been a great beneficiary of what has been already created in that part of the country. As already those industries have been mentioned, and also public sector undertakings and defense establishment that are already there in that state have been contributing to develop the space ecosystem to this scale. I must thank each of them, all of these industries, especially the public sector undertaking like Midani and the private enterprises like MTAR, Anand Technology, WIM, the Swami, the ARCI, and many other labs in Hyderabad has been such a support, and they have been expanding their capability to support the space program in a big manner. And also I see that there is a good ecosystem there to support the startups. And the startups doesn't happen just like that, because you need young entrepreneurs, but also need mentors. Senior people who have burned their fingers, their expertise are there around them to support them, help them to come up and solve their problems. So combined with this is the policy framework and the government's interventions to help them to start those industries, take them along, guide them so that they don't fall in this while they travel. All of us realize that space technology is a very difficult one. You may face failures quite often, and to come out of the failure and then again succeed requires a lot of support from technical side. We may need it from financial side and regulatory side so that they can be controlled, they can be supported throughout their journey to ultimately become successful. But we all realize that many startups will really come up, but then only few will get through. And this will happen only with the innovative spirit that is between them. If they travel at already beaten track and their destiny is very, very well defined. So I look forward to people with starry eyes, but also with ideas and approaches that are revolutionary. And I think it is possible in this ecosystem. And with the support of the government and many technical support that we are willing to provide from InSpace and ISRO, I think their hands are in with us, and we will travel together to enable these new people to climb great height and become providers of very innovative solutions to the world. The indications that after the space sector reforms have happened, number of proposals that we are receiving, especially through InSpace, are really very, very large. And I believe many of them are from this sector, this region of the country as well. So let me take this opportunity to thank the Telangana government and the IT and other mission leaders there to launch this SpaceTech framework now and inviting us to be part of this event. All the very best to you. We guarantee we support this move, and we look forward to finding more details about your approach and vision, and to align with whatever is needed for the country. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Sir Pawan Goenka sir has also joined us. So I would now request Dr. Pawan Goenka, the Chairman of InSpace, to please deliver his keynote. So I'll be calling you up on the podium now. Dr. Goenka, request you to join at the podium.
Mr. Goenka, you can start your keynote now. Yes, please.
Good evening, everyone. Sri K.T. Ramarao Garu, Minister of IT, Industries and More, Governor of Telangana, Sri Amitabh Kant, Sri Somanath, Sri Jayesh, Ranjan, and Srimati Ramadevi. I'm delighted to be participating in this one-of-a-kind launch of the SpaceTech framework of Telangana, and I must congratulate first ever Metaverse event by any government in India. Obviously, there were some technical glitches, but when you're on cutting edge, sometimes the glitches will happen. But I'm glad that the state worked on it, tried it, and now it's working reasonably well. And also congratulate for being among the first states to launch a comprehensive space tech framework. Before I get into the topic of the day, let me say in a lighter vein that I am in a new avatar in the space sector, and on a serious note, in the previous avatar in the automotive sector, I've had lots of opportunities to interact with State Telangana, and I can say that not too many states have industrial policy as friendly as Telangana has for any industry. InSpace is a new organization which is mandated to authorize non-government entities, that is private sector, space activities, and promoting the space sector. I see the role of InSpace as a promoter, bigger part of the role than a regulator. I went through the draft space tech framework that has been put out, and I must say that it's very comprehensive and covers every aspect of the space sector end to end. InSpace can almost copy this framework and its charter to the promotion part of its mandate. And we are very happy to partner the state of Telangana to work on several initiatives of the state that are outlined in the space tech framework. Two specific points that I want to make from the framework.
I don't know, I'm being a hundred.
Ma'am,
Minal, can you proceed for further speaker, because Dr. Goenka is facing some problems with the system. He is unable to join.
Yes. So now I would like to request Shri Amitabh Kant, retired IAS officer and current CEO of NITI Aayog, to please deliver his keynote address. Amitabh sir, I request you to please come up on the stage. So kindly do make sure the broadcast button is off on the right before you start. We cannot hear you, sir. Can't hear him.
Meenal, I can't hear Mr. Kant. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We wait.
Meenal, let us invite the chief guest now, and then we can ask Mr. Kant or Goenka, Mr. Goenka to come back after that.
Terminal brings you up.
Yeah, so I'll be addressing the audience now. So Mr. Amitabh Kant, the CEO of NITI Aayog, has joined us again after facing some technical issues. So I would like to request you again for the podium for your keynote address, please.
Yeah. Yes.
Sri Somanath, Chairman ISRO, Mr. Pawan Goenka, Chairman InSpace, Jayesh, Ranjan, Ramadevi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to see Telangana take the big leap in space tech, pushing India to the edge of new frontier. Telangana is only where no one else has gone before. As an supporter of frontier technologies, I'm glad to be part of India's first ever official event hosted on Metaverse, and I'm certain many more are to follow. I'm happy to see the government of Telangana leverage their thriving system percent parts used in the Mars orbiter mission is a case in point. When Prime Minister Shri Modi launched the Indian Space Association, ISPA, on 11th October 21, he put in place the foundation to the vision of making India a global leader in the space arena. He said, and I quote, "For 75 years since independence, Indian space has been dominated by a single umbrella of the Indian government institutions. Scientists of India have made huge contributions and achievements in these decades. The need of the hour is that there should be no restrictions on Indian talent, whether it is in the public sector or in the private sector. Today, I see the vision of the Prime Minister beginning to take form as the space tech framework is brought to life. This will not only serve as a launch pad for Telangana to move into higher orbit, but also facilitate its emergence as a commercial hub for domestic production of launch vehicles, satellite systems and subsystems, ground equipment manufacturing and other facilities. The agenda to open the space sector to wider private participation is just about in time. It is estimated that the space economy will be worth $5 trillion. The benefits of opening up the space sector to non-government private enterprises can be clearly seen from pioneers like SpaceX, recently valued at $100 billion. Activities as asteroid mining, Earth observation, space tourism, satellite launches, deep space exploration, and satellite internet will be the drivers of the new space technology. Space countries racing to establish their superiority. In this regard, I recommend that the next frontier for Telangana would be to initiate space tech research programs in partnership with a whole range of industry, academia to catalyze innovation. The global economy is currently valued at $360 billion. Sectors played an increasingly important role in other space countries within the global space economy. Companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, Virgin Galactic, and Arianespace have revolutionized the space sector by reducing costs and turning around time with innovation and advanced technology. In India, players within the private space industry have been limited to being vendors or suppliers to the government space program. Promoting the private sector will enable the Indian space program to remain cost competitive within the global space market and thus create several jobs in the space and other related sectors. The downstream space tech applications have the potential to directly impact citizens' life, and so the government, in partnership with the state, will support pilots and proof of concept. I'm eager to see the progress with the framework coming up, with the state offering space tech fellowships to students from India and abroad, work on high-end use cases in partnership with the government departments and national and international research academic institutions. It is initiatives like these that Telangana government has launched that allow innovators to work towards building applications that can alleviate various problems for the citizens. It is an ideal model to onboard the best solutions in the proposed SpaceTech accelerator, build a comprehensive business model, quickly go to market and deploy the solutions in space. India's National Program for Artificial Intelligence developed by NITI Aayog defines artificial intelligence for social good as its goal. One of the first steps toward the goal has been the development of Param Siddhi, AI, the country's largest high-performing supercomputer. This is ranked among the top 100 supercomputers in the world. I'm sure there will be multiple budding space tech use cases that will be aligned. Its mixture of cost-effective technology, budding state potential to become a world leader in the global space economy. And I'm sure Telangana, under the leadership of Mr. K.T. Ramarao, will take the lead as far as Metaverse, Web 3.0 and space technology is concerned. I wish the state of Telangana all the best and a great future in space tech framework. All the best and a great future.
Thank you, Amitabh sir, for your so valuable and insightful keynote. Now, for the audience, we would move to the last phase of the event today. I would like to call upon stage our Honorable IT Minister, Shri K.T. Ramarao Garu, for delivering his keynote for today. Sir, I request you to come on the podium, please. Sir, disable your broadcast mode as well.
Am I audible now,
Yes,
Meena?
sir. Yes, sir, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time out, for taking some valuable time out of your busy schedules and joining us for the launch of Telangana's Space Tech Framework. I would also like to thank Shri S. Somanath, the Chairman of ISRO, Shri Amitabh Kant, the CEO of NITI Aayog, Shri Pawan Goenka ji, the Chairman of InSpace, for gracing today's launch event. My special compliments to Srimati Ramadevi for making this happen. And also, I'd like to acknowledge Shri Jayesh Ranjan, my Principal Secretary, for his valued contributions to the same. I hope it has been an exciting event for everybody who has attended this event in a metaverse in their avatars and experienced the latest that the world has to offer. As you might have told already, it's the first use of metaverse to host an official event such as this in our country, especially by any government. As you are all aware, Telangana is one of the youngest and one of the fastest growing states in the country. We recognize ourselves as a startup state, and the state government has always been a key supporter for innovation by our startups, industry, and academia. Telangana has also developed a robust innovation ecosystem consisting of T-Hub, which is India's largest technology incubator, the Telangana State Innovation Cell, B-Hub, which is India's only women entrepreneurs hub, RICH, the Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, TASK, which is Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge, T-Works, which is India's largest prototyping facility, and Emerging Technologies Wing under Ramadevi, which has brought out this Space Tech Framework launched today. And also, let me add our Image Center of Excellence, which stands for Innovation in Multimedia, Animation, Gaming, and Entertainment. Over 1,500 startups have received support in the form of mentorship, incubation, and industry connects and have raised 1,800 plus crores in funding over the last few years. The state of Telangana, since the launch of its first ICT policy in 2016, has been establishing itself as a leader in emerging technologies with their adoption and promotion. A dedicated wing, first of its kind in India, was also established way back in 2017, and similar approach is now being emulated by many other government organizations. A razor-like focus has been ensured by my colleagues, Sri Jayesh Ranjan and Srimati Ramadevi, who look after newer opportunities that keep emerging. The focus on emerging technologies comprises both ecosystem initiatives and adoption within the government as well. And each path-breaking technology is given its due attention, and programs are undertaken as per our framework, 4 of which are already under execution phase. That is artificial intelligence, blockchain, drones, and cloud adoption. We have undertaken several projects that leverage emerging technologies, and they have always been the first of its kind projects. And each of these projects are undertaken with the spirit of startup industry as a partner and not just as a service provider. From quick approvals to rapid brainstorming and problem solving sessions, the government of Telangana always acted as an agile corporation. As an example, and largest in the country, has allayed the concerns of stakeholders across India and has led to multiple entities in India exploring adoption of the same. We have launched the Sagu Bagu project as a public-private cooperation project to support agri-tech startups in reaching the farmers at the ground level and help improve their income in a sustainable manner. This engagement model is again a first of its kind to ensure a wide bucket of AI, blockchain, IoT-based solutions across agriculture value chain and thereby building of an ecosystem. We initiated the Hara Bhara project to conduct reforestation programs at scale by using drones for aerial seeding. 12,000 hectares across 31 districts was covered in just 2 months during the monsoon of 2021. We have integrated robust real-time digital authentication of identity solution in our various citizen services such as pensioners' life certificate, driving license renewals, etc. Now this RTDAI leverages AI for 3-factor authentication of citizens to securely render the services. We have also spearheaded the development of India's first smartphone-based e-voting solution, electronic voting solution that uses AI for citizen authentication and blockchain to securely store de-identified votes, and have also successfully conducted a dry run with a dummy election in one of our districts. Now, Bihar State Election Commission has approached us to explore implementing this solution in Bihar. In addition to projects, the government of Telangana has also put in dedicated efforts in overall development of ecosystem and enabling innovation and growth for the emerging technologies. Since the ecosystem mandate is larger, the government has been setting up dedicated institutions in partnership with industry bodies to augment the programs. We have set up the Telangana Artificial Intelligence Mission to facilitate AI initiatives such as the RevUp Accelerator for MVP stage AI startups and offer mentorship, market connect, discounted high performance computing, etc. Today, we have about 80 plus AI startups from across the country enrolled for this program. We have also set up a cybersecurity center of excellence to support the industry with incubation programs, best practices, training, collaborations, etc. Now, we see space technology as our next focus area. The space tech industry, both upstream segments such as satellites and downstream segments such as applied AI/analytics, is at an inflection point of accelerated growth. With the national reforms supporting the increased participation of the private sector in space tech industry, the Telangana state shall be supporting the innovation that is bound to occur. In the past, we have seen several foreign private players amaze the world with technological advancements, but we know that majority of them are supported by brilliant Indian scientists and engineers. But now, it is the time that technology developed by Indians is built in the country and then exported globally. Time that we occupy a larger share of the space industry that is expected to grow to about $558 billion by 2026. Our capital city of Hyderabad is already uniquely positioned to become a hub for space-related activities, owing to synergies with the existing aerospace and defense ecosystem and its global supply chain. It is evident as Hyderabad-based SMEs contributed to over 30% parts for ISRO's highly acclaimed Mars Orbiter mission. We also have some of the best startups such as in Hyderabad, such as Dhruva Aerospace and Skyroot Aerospace. Now, with the launch of Telangana Space Tech Framework and the initiatives to be undertaken under it, we would further accelerate the ecosystem and realize our vision to establish Telangana as a globally recognized one-stop destination in space technology. I request the representatives of startups, industry, and academia present today to look at Telangana government as their partner as they look to build innovative world-class solutions at an accelerated pace. In this journey of the industry, we'll also ensure due support is enabled for all the innovators as we will closely work with our esteemed Indian Space Research Organization and its affiliates such as InSpace. Organizations such as NITI Aayog, Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, and obviously the Hyderabad-based organizations like IIT Hyderabad, IIIT Hyderabad, ARCI, NRSC, and more. Let's all be ambitious and take the Indian space tech sector to new heights. Now, as a surprise, I would also like to announce the launch of our SpaceTech NFT, the non-fungible token collection. We'll be using the proceeds from the NFT sales to support one of our technology-enabled social impact projects. Kindly do check it out. Thank you very much once again, and I appreciate all of you taking the time out, and a special shout out to the Gametronics team that has done exceedingly well in organizing this. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining. You may close the end the speech, sir, so we can move towards the final remarks for the closing. Yeah. So thank you everyone. I would like to for joining today's event, and apologies again for the glitches we have faced since this was the first time Metaverse was being used. With this, we have come to a conclusion of the event, and yeah, thank you so much for joining. I'll be initiating an ending event sequence, and you won't have to do further than that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Have a happy evening.
Thank you, everyone.